A1. A1 all crate, David.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 game show cheaters of all time.
Housewife Lauren Cleary will say anything in her attempt to win $500,000.
For this list, we'll be looking at contestants on game shows who gamed the system to win big or just outright cheated. Did you happen to see any of these live? Let us know in the comments below. Number 10. Ted Slauson. For many, The Price is Right brings back memories of staying home from school and perusing the cozy channels of daytime TV. For Ted Slauson, The Price is Right was a way of life. Slauson loved the show and memorized the exact prices of its prizes, which were often featured more than once.
So one week I got into watching Price is Right from 1973.
Side-by-side refrigerator freezer from world famous Amana. Big 25 cubic foot side-by-side.
The same refrigerator freezer is on 4 different episodes that I watched.
When he started showing up in the studio for tapings, Slauson would yell out the correct prices to contestants, thereby helping them win. This famously came to a head in 2008 when contestant Terry Neese correctly guessed the exact amount of the final double showcase.
Actual retail price, $23,743. You got it right on the nose.
The event was quite famous, and it forced the producers to acknowledge their complacency and diversify the pricing system. Slauson's story was later told in the documentary Perfect Bid, the contestant who knew too much.
And Susan, you know how to play this game, don't you?
Sort of.
Sort of?
I was trying to tell her 2100. You can actually see me at one point kind of finishing off the 2100 and then doing it again.
Number 9. The Flip-Flop Cheater. In the Price is Right's game of flip-flop, contestants must alter the first 2 numbers, the last 2 numbers, or all 4 numbers to correctly guess the price.
Or you can flop the last 2 numbers to make it $8,610. That's 6 nights. Or flip and flop to make it $6,810.
A man named Breton is told how to play the game, and he even gestures to the crowd to help him out. But rather than flipping or flopping, Breton presses the button that reveals the correct answer.
No!
To be honest, we don't know if this is cheating or just an honest mistake. Either way, it resulted in one heck of a payout. In an incredible act of charity, Barker gives Breton the prize in the end.
There is only one solution to this almost insoluble problem. I'm going to give you the prize. Get off the stage.
Still, Bob Barker panic yelling no and walking off stage has to be one of the funniest moments on the show. Number 8. Khalid El Khatatani. We don't know if Khalid El Khatatani plays poker, but if he doesn't, then he totally should. This 19-year-old man appeared on the game show Millionaire Hot Seat, which is essentially the Australian version of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
You ready?
I am ready.
El Khatatani made for a very entertaining guest, often playing dumb and constantly plugging his own Instagram accounts. Regardless, he walked away with the top prize of $100,000.
Yeah, well, I have no idea. And if you want to know my thought process, it was like, I haven't done D in a while, so I'll choose it.
And how did he do it? By apparently reading the body language of host and question asker Eddie McGuire. He observed McGuire's subtle tell whenever the correct answer was read aloud and went with it.
You've won $100,000.
As he later told the media, I didn't play the game, I played the man. Number 7. Rick Rockwell. This is a different kind of cheater. On February 15th, 2000, Fox aired a 2-hour special called Who Wants to Marry a Multi-Millionaire? The show saw 50 women competing to marry a mysterious millionaire.
50 women will compete to marry a mystery multi-millionaire she won't meet until she says I do.
Over 20 million people tuned in to watch winner Darva Conger marry who was eventually revealed to be Rick Rockwell. But as it turned out, Rockwell had, shall we say, embellished his image for the show.
Darva meets and marries Rick Rockwell on a 2-hour TV show.
Darva, are you ready for a honeymoon tonight?
Absolutely, ready to go.
He lied about his work as a motivational speaker and had previously been the target of a restraining order filed by his previous partner. He also lived in a modest house, and many question his status as a multi-millionaire. Winner Darva Conger claimed that she was duped by Rockwell and quickly had their marriage annulled.
For the first time in my life, I was having to defend myself. I'm being called a gold digger and a this and a that and being ripped apart in the media. And I'm like, well, but I'm not a celebrity.
Number 6. Lauren and Frank Cleary. The Moment of Truth was a short-lived game show that aired on Fox between 2008 and 2009.
If they tell the truth, they can win up to $500,000.
The procedure was as follows. Contestants are given a polygraph test prior to the game, and then they are re-asked the same personal questions in the studio in front of friends and family. If they can openly admit embarrassing truths about themselves, they are awarded money. One episode aired in which Lauren Cleary seemingly ended her marriage on national TV.
Do you believe I'm the man you should be married to?
In a later interview, however, the couple claimed that they had spoken about the answers before the show started and that they were only concerned about the money. Turns out these weren't dramatic secrets that Cleary was revealing for the first time. They were well known, despite her husband's theatrical acting.
This is,
What else is there? You know, I mean, just go for it.
This is a little bigger than the game right now.
Number 5. Michael Larson. This man from Ohio made game show history in 1984 by winning over $110,000 in the CBS program Press Your Luck.
Today, these three players are after high stakes, but they'll have to avoid the whammy as they play the most exciting game of their lives. From Television City in Hollywood, it's time to press your luck.
Larson was a big fan of the show, and like The Price is Right's Ted Slauson, he meticulously studied the gameplay. Larson had taped episodes and used the recordings to memorize the pattern of the game board. He then flew to Los Angeles and appeared on the show.
Stop at 1250 again.
Larson's intimate knowledge of the game board allowed him to go on a tear, and he ended up with historic winnings. CBS accused Larson of cheating and initially denied him the prize money. But because memorizing the board wasn't technically against the rules, the $110,000 was grudgingly handed over.
Stop at a Mexican cruise. What's the difference? It is Michael. $110,237.
Number 4. Herb Stempel. Here's a scandal that's actually in-house. Between 56 and 58, NBC aired a game show called 21. Which saw two contestants duking it out in general knowledge trivia.
One of the most famous promoters in boxing history, the man who promoted the first $1 Million Gate, is largely responsible for prize fights being staged out of doors. Name this man. Tex Rickard. Right, you now have 16 points.
Following a disastrous first episode, producer Dan Enright decided to rig the show and hired contestant Herb Stempel to act as an underdog champion. Stempel was provided with both the questions and answers beforehand and racked up quote-unquote winnings of nearly $70,000.
F for the Virgin Islands must be the second. You're right, and you have 21 points.
He was eventually quote-unquote defeated by a man named Charles Van Doren. It's been reported that these weren't the only two contestants to be cast in a similar fashion to actors, and 21 became highly choreographed after its first broadcast. Number 3. Adriana Abenia. Should cheating be taken as seriously if it's a celebrity contestant? That's the question at hand when it comes to Armani and Prada model Adriana Abenia. Spain has a popular game show called Pasapalabra, which itself is a remake of the British panel show The Alphabet Game. While appearing as a celebrity guest, Abenia secretly held her iPhone under the table and attempted to use the music-identifying app Shazam to cheat her way through a segment. However, she received a text at an inopportune time, and this was noticed by the host. He called her out, and Abenia playfully acknowledged that yes, that was her phone, and yes, she was indeed cheating. So there's that. Number 2. Charles Van Doren. We return to the scandal of 21 with Charles Van Doren, the man who finally dethroned rigged champion Herb Stempel in front of 15 million viewers.
Then you win $20,000. Congratulations, Van Doren.
Van Doren's reign on 21 made him a national celebrity and even appeared on the cover of Time. Well, as you probably won't be very shocked to learn, Van Doren was in on the whole scam too.
Halleck, General H.W. Halleck. You're right, and you have 8 points.
Following his dive, Herb Stempel became a whistleblower and exposed the fraudulent nature of not only 21, but many other game shows of the time. The case went all the way to Congress, and former rivals Stempel and Van Doren teamed up to expose the deception. Congress subsequently made a law expressly prohibiting producer intervention and predetermined game show winners.
Be very, very careful before you answer. Take your time, and the very, very best of luck to both of you.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Charles Ingram. British Army Major Charles Ingram appeared on the British Who Wants to Be a Millionaire in 2001 and became just the 3rd person to win the top prize.
You just won $1 million!
However, producers were suspicious of Ingram's performance, as he played erratically, didn't seem confident, and often doubled back on incorrect answers. As a result, they withheld his earnings and launched an investigation.
I have sat through so many hours with the police and the fraud squad of tapes of the major show. He is so guilty. It's like once you lock into it, it's like, oh, for God's sake.
After studying the tape, they concluded that Ingram had been cheating with the help of a man named Tequan Wittuck and his own wife, Diana. They were both in the audience and reportedly coughed when the correct answer was read.
It's up to you. I can't help you, Charles. It's your lifeline gone, but...
All 3 were convicted of deception and given suspended prison sentences. The Ingrams were also forced to pay £115,000 in fines and defense costs. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.